This blends in more with the black. Doesn't make it look so dorky.
It'll always look dorky, but whatever.
Yeah, you're wearing a tiny little hat. Like, that's cool.
It is.
It's cute, but it's cool?
That's what represent. Yo.
I was gonna write you an email, but I'm a little drunk and spelling is a sober person's game. So I feel I owe you an explanation. I'm sorry. Explanation.
I should get darkener here and give my face a little more definition.
You should. They have facial hair dye.
I'll just get a fake beard.
Well, that too.
Although today's been much cooler than yesterday. It's ridiculously hot.
Yes. Same here.
But it dropped almost 10 degrees. When now that I am, I don't want to ruin the introduction here because I've got one, at least for me. But
Of course, you have one for you.
I'm thinking of a good one here for you. I probably should save both of them for the more awesome episode, but
Well, whichever way works best.
oh, you want to get started?
Yeah, sure.
Should I start out with what's a snatch?
What's a snatch?
Just don't have your alligator bite one. Probably shouldn't have anybody bite one. But this has deteriorated in a hurry. So, welcome back, Lilith's wonderful Hellions, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your master of the mythological, and with me as always is Lilith, the whisperer of woodwinds, Lilith Draco.
Hi, welcome back.
You
Please
got that.
like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Watch a little bit longer than normal. It really helps us out.
Yes, and we'll be explaining a lot today, right, Lucy?
That's right. We will be splaining.
We'll be explaining. Oh, I am not a good reggae person.
What are you drinking there, X7?
Excellent question. I have got a Fremont Dark Star,
Ooh,
which is a oatmeal stout.
nice can.
I do like the can. The beer, I haven't had one in quite a while, I mean quite a while. So I've liked them. They were on sale in the Pick a Six, so that's where I got them, like 3 or 4 of them. And an 8%'s a good start. Get you
It
there,
is a good start.
especially if you're empty. Well, I have a piece of Gouda in me right now.
Good is good, okay?
Okay. Especially the sriracha and or the chipotle Gouda.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
my sainted mother won't have because it burns her lips.
Oh, your mom.
Yeah. She did get me. Well, she recorded me swimming, incidentally, but
At your meet?
yeah, she didn't. I did 5. I think she got 1 that she liked.
Oh, good.
She still has the mom goggles.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
I don't think those ever go away.
Yeah. Thankfully.
Your
Well-
mom thinks you're cool.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if she thinks I'm weird. I know that.
Well, she's not wrong.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Right back at you, kiddo.
Yeah.
So, Lilith, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a revision DIPA, a doubled up IPA.
What's it called again?
DIPA.
Not
Dippa.
that. That's a.
Dippa.
But
Almost dips.
what's the beer called again? I heard a name in there somewhere.
It's Revision Brewing Company.
Oh,
It's a DIPA, doubled up IPA.
I wonder if that's a what they'll call the White Vision, the Revision. Huh. I never thought of that. That's what I'm going
It
to call it.
is. I think it's the brewing company's from Sparks, Nevada.
Oh.
And it's an 8%. It's pretty good. I'd get it again. Has a decent bitterness to it.
One would think a Dippa would have a. It's a decent Dippa.
Decent Dippa.
Very good. This is a little bite to it too. I mean, it's got a little bitter to it.
Good. One of these days, I'll turn you to the bitter side.
Bitter, not better. Well,
All right. So what are we explaining this episode?
this episode we're going to be explaining. I'm assuming we're going to start with, but it's mostly Greek mythology, right?
Yes.
I know they've appeared in other places, but, and I did not. We're going to be talking about centaurs.
Yes, centaurs do belong to the Greek mythology. Nice.
It's the other one I read because once I discovered Thor in Marvel Comics and his 6-issue bout with the Prince of Power Hercules, then I discovered Hercules, and that led me into both of those.
Oh, nice.
And they're both jerks.
Yeah.
They're not always the nicest. I mean, Hercules was tormented, of course, by his mother, well, his stepmother, Hera, even though his Greek name is Heracles. So, go figure. But thanks to her philandering husband, she tortured his children. Except for Jason. Well, no, Jason wasn't his. But anyway. I digress. One of his teachers was a centaur. One of the rare wise centaurs. They were not always the nicest people.
So centaurs have the upper body of a man and the lower body of a horse.
Right.
And in stories, they're depicted as wild, savage, lustful, and violent when drunk. And they do like to get drunk.
They've also been considered, in some stories, as excellent warriors and archers.
Yes. Yes, they're skilled in archery, healing magic, astronomy, and divination.
Right.
They value good wine and worldly pleasures. I mean, who wouldn't?
No. We don't plan these things, people.
So they dwell in caves in the mountains of Thessaly and Arcadia. And they hunt the local game for their food.
I'm never going to find it in here with these goggles on. Oh,
You should have had it marked.
well, here's their centaurs.
Yes.
These are very stylized drawings, which is one of the appeal of especially now. I mean, when I was younger, I wanted everything to look like Jack Kirby was drawing it, but
Well, yes.
I do appreciate that. But Hercules had a tutor who was a centaur. Did you come up with that name of his tutor that he accidentally killed? Except that he couldn't because centaurs were, at least in this story, they're immortal.
Okay.
He was a centaur that was immortal. Not all of them.
Not all of them. Just that one.
Yeah, but
They do prefer the company of gods Dionysus and Pan.
right. Pan was a satyr. Geez, I never knew how to pronounce that. But the half goat. But he only had
Right.
He only had 2 legs and an upper leg. Fauns were also the similar but smaller. I think Pan was a god. Wasn't he Dionysus' son or Hermes' son? Somebody's son?
Pan? I'm not sure. I'd have to look Pan up.
In a minute, I said I mean, aside from Athena, my Greek astrology. Jeez, I must be empty. my knowledge.
Have a shot. You could use one.
I I'm afraid I don't want to say this out. Don't make me say this out loud. I
No, say it out loud. Now we need to know.
don't have any Jameson at the house.
What?
Well, it ran out
How?
because I was down, and then it was down, and while my sainted mother's family was here, it went really down.
A good excuse to leave and go get
Well,
some.
actually, Ron Bill, I should have put it in there because he paid for everything. It was very nice of him.
Be that as it may, back to Centaurs.
Yes. Centaur Isle,
Yes.
one of my favorite books, by the way, about a centaur.
Centaurs embrace lawlessness and immorality with open arms, though they're not necessarily evil.
They're more like chaotic good, or if you want to go into Dungeons and Dragons territory, more like
Do
chaotic
you?
good. Who are you talking to here?
You go into it more than I do.
Well, exactly. I was warning. That's a warning. It's not a. It's not a. It's not a accusation. It's me. So, yeah. I mean, I would say they could be chaotic, evil, and some of them are, I'm sure, or were, but mostly they were just kind of neutral and chaotic.
Yeah.
Except for like Hercules, that tutor he had, and who was the wise one of the wiser ones.
Right.
And in some of the stories I've read, they've been mostly good, but short-tempered no matter what.
Yep.
And,
But don't get them drunk.
or angry. We wouldn't like them when they're angry,
No. Oh no.
because they were also considered, especially, and the males tended to be more headstrong, shall we say, than the women. The female centaurs, boy, I almost said satyrs, were generally, at least in the stories I've read in the, fiction, fantasy, the female centaurs, while still headstrong, were at least smarter than the men.
Yes.
And the men were generally considered ugly, whereas the women were not, the female centaurs.
Initially, though, centaurs were male. The
Yeah.
female centaurs didn't come until later on.
That's probably a newer fantasy edition.
Yes. And they are called centaurides or centauruses. And they're mostly depicted in Greek art and Roman adaptations in later antiquity. So they're a more recent idea.
Yeah. Well, Alpha Centauri is, of course, that's where their star is, right? The constellation. Yes. Oh, I just remembered that. It's the nearest star, 3.4 light years away. Thank you, Star Trek.
Do
won't
you
find that
know
in
some
Star
of-
Wars now, will you?
What was that?
You won't find that in Star Wars now, will you?
Do you know some of the more famous movies that have had a centaur in them?
A couple, yes. I know one very well, and you can imagine why.
The Golden Voyage of Sinbad?
You are correct, which is probably the most unique centaur. The one appeared in the 1958 Hercules movie with Steve Reeves, the first that set off the peplum craze from 58 to say 64, and mostly from Italy, but some other countries did variations of it. And that was a man with just standing in a half a horse costume, or they did a split screen with the body of a horse and matted him
Yeah.
into it, which did not look especially good, but it was 1958. I mean, what are you going to do? So Italy tried really hard, but they tried really hard.
Yeah.
They made some very entertaining movies. If you want something not too abysmal, or something visual. Oops, I slipped into a little Tim Curry there. But I enjoy them. I would never tell you we should watch one of these.
Thank you.
That's
I
because it was
appreciate
super
that.
short. The guys, everyone in Italy, I swear, everyone especially in the movies, even the bad guys are beautiful. The
Yeah.
bad women, the bad men, the good women, the good men, the children are beautiful. That whole
Yep.
country. It's like, well, no wonder Brick wanted to go over there all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just like, really, are there no ugly people there? Even the people that would be trolls dressed up as cyclopses, they're so good looking under all that makeup. I don't get it.
What other movies?
Well, obviously, the only other one. Well, obviously, the Harry Potter movies had centaurs
Harry
in them.
Potter?
I want to say 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8. I don't remember.
I don't know.
In a minute.
I just know they were in Harry Potter.
Yeah, they were in the books, and even then, Harry Potter, the special effects don't always do centaurs justice. And I'm
No.
going to say that about the Golden Voyage of Sinbad, which I don't think is one of the. It's a good monster. It's not a good centaur because it's out of proportion. The model is, but this is from me having to listen to someone talk about it for
Right.
that long. I mean, even longer than the movie with the Kraken in it. But it's a good movie. It's a really good movie. I mean, it's probably. I'd say it's tied with the out of the 3 Sinbads that Harryhausen made. It's it's in the top 2. But yeah, I mean these. Go ahead.
I was just going to name some more movies.
No, please do.
So Hercules from 2014 had a centaur. Fantasia.
Yeah, I was going to say Fantasia had them and the Pegasus.
Yep. And then the Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh yes, God, I watched those all 3 of them once. And
I
the
haven't
third-
seen all 3. I've just seen the first one, but I read several of the books.
The third one's the best. I love the books. Well, except for the last one. But the third one is the best because it's got a dragon versus a sea monster. And
Nice.
you know me and dragons and sea monsters.
Yes. Yes, I do. All too well.
I try to warn people now. I really do. Yeah, and then it was the Hercules from 2014. Was that one that we smelled what the Rock was cooking? Was he that Hercules, or
I don't know.
Two that
Give
came
me a-
out at the same time.
Give me a moment and I will look.
And I think that in the Hercules television show with now Looney Tunes Kevin Sorbo,
Yeah.
there were some really poorly done centaurs because they had no budget, and they were mostly going for action and comedy anyway. So I like.
I didn't watch any of it.
Well, if I hadn't been watching that, I wouldn't have discovered Xena,
Ah.
and that would have been sad. Because
Yes. Dwayne Johnson was Hercules. Huh.
good old Dwayne, yeah, that movie tanked bigly. I think at the
Oh.
box office. I don't think it did very well. I think there were 2 Hercules movies out at the same time.
Was there?
Happens. I don't remember anymore. 2014 was a lot. I was sick most of that year, so the damned Hydra bite. That's what I'm going to blame it on. It wasn't an abscess on my liver at all. Well, it caused it. Yeah, that's the ticket. But centaurs are just really interesting. I mean, the one in Golden Voyage is a cyclops.
Okay.
The Cyclopean centaur, which is unusual. And certain people have accused Mr. Harryhausen of mining his earlier movies. Like in the 7th Voyage of Sinbad, there's a cyclops. Huh, how convenient. And he's not particularly sympathetic, but he's turned to evil by the bad magician Kura, who was played by Tom Baker, the 4th Doctor and best. Even my sainted mother knows the 4th Doctor.
And what movie?
The Golden
Is
Voyage
this?
of Sinbad. The Golden Voyage of Sinbad.
Oh,
And that led to him becoming the 4th Doctor right after that. So,
I haven't seen it.
the movie?
Yeah.
And yet you've seen Clash of the Titans how many times?
I think we've had this exact same conversation.
Diddly, diddly. Deja vu.
I think you said those exact words when we were talking about Athena.
Yeah, probably because Athena's in Clash of the Titans. Makes sense. As Ursula Andress. Your humble agent likes Ursula Andress. Well, at least 1981 Ursula Andress. I have nothing against her, but
Are you familiar with how centaurs came about? Like their origin story?
you know,
I'm not. I have the story in my phone. I haven't read it, but I was
I
just
know
wondering
of
if you have,
one
because you know
origin.
useless information.
Yeah, but the useless information that contains the origin story I know of is from a fantasy author, and it involves a love spring and a man and a horse.
Well, I
And
mean,
that's set in the mythical world of Xanth. And there's also the opposite, where you've got the top of the horse and the bottom of a person. I don't know what those are called. Mantars?
maybe.
But that was also the name of a wrestler in the 80s.
Oh, nice. Mantar?
Yeah, poor guy. It's horrible.
Huh.
Horrible. Shouldn't have to do that. It was more like a bull person, not a horse, like the Minotaur, or the Minotaur, if you prefer. So, yeah, I do know a lot of useless information. As far as the origin of centaurs, though, in Greek mythology, I do not know. I know that they were probably thought of because fossils were found jumbled together that looked like a human with a horse.
Maybe.
Why. It's like the Cyclops was a mammoth skull, most probably, because it had the big, where the trunk was. They thought that was the eye, which you're a pseudo savage in 6000 BC. What do you know? You're just
Right.
going to tell your best story, and it's a great. I mean, they're great stories. But as far as actual per mythology, I don't know. And
Now I
vamp
can't
a
find
little-
it.
I can vamp a little more if you'd like me to. I can filibuster, if you will.
I know you can.
Yeah, I'm trying not to.
Okay. So I'm just going to kind of read bullet points as I go through this.
Drum roll.
So it began when Ixion, I-X-I-O-N,
It's Greek.
a king of the Lapiths, began to covet Hera.
Oh, jeez. That's a good
Zeus, as we know, isn't the most faithful husband,
idea. But nobody else.
but
gets
he
it.
doesn't like other men flirting with Hera.
No, I don't know that I'd have flirted with Hera. That's some balls.
So Ixion, I don't know,
It was
I-X-I-O-N,
Ishion, probably.
Ishion,
Let's just go with that. If you
Ishion
know what it's
was,
really called, leave a comment. How it's really pronounced.
right, please.
We'd appreciate it.
So he was a dinner guest at Mount Olympus,
Wow.
but a lot of the Greek gods didn't like him. He killed his father-in-law to avoid paying bridal gifts. And for some reason, Zeus pitied the man and invited him to dinner. Let's see.
This is not going to end well.
For revenge on, what did we say?
Ishion.
Ishion?
Yeah.
Zeus? Huh?
That's his name, and we're sticking to it.
Okay. Zeus made a cloud in the shape of his wife for him to seduce.
I can see where this is going.
Ishion. The Hera look-alike cloud is later established to be a nymph named Nephili. Ishion lacked restraint, slept with Nephili, who he thought was Hera. The union produced Centaurus.
Oh,
Centaurus was unsocial, brutish, finding no joy amongst other humans. So he isolated himself to the mountains of Thessaly. Centaurus mated frequently with the Magnesian mares that inhabited the region. And from these rendezvous, the centaur race came to be. So there you go.
That works. But yeah, that does sound like a relatively recent introduction.
Yeah. I don't know
when.
when that happened, but
Because I've never in the book here, there's no talk of mortals ever being, and I've read this book many times, so many times that I've memorized a lot of it. But there's no talk of mortals ever being invited to Mount Olympus. That seems like if they do that, you're in a heap of trouble already. I mean, Hercules did get brought up because he was a demigod, so, and they needed him to fight Gaia's last revolt, because she was still salty about the Olympians imprisoning the Titans. But well, that makes sense. I'll go with that. That's good.
I don't know why no one's made this movie. That might be interesting.
They might have in other countries that have looser laws with animals and things. I mean, Zeus was, jeez. I mean, Odin didn't philander like that. He did a couple times. I mean, Thor's mom was not really Frigga,
Right.
but
But-
I mean, he was not like that.
No.
I mean, Zeus was, jeez.
Zeus is another kind of god, all on his own level.
He did, I'm sorry, but in that last Thor movie, he got kind of done pretty dirty, though. Although you did get to see Thor's butt, so everyone was happy about that.
In the last movie, I didn't see the last movie, but maybe I will now.
Love and Thunder?
I haven't seen it.
Oh. Spoiler alert.
Get to
Yeah,
see Thor's
his-
butt.
His butt's there, and it is. There's some really good moments in that movie, and so it's just too long. They always have to put like two plots together instead of just make one movie with one plot. Make it 100 minutes. Well, anyway, that's a rant for another. That's a explanation for another day.
That is.
What?
Well, and I didn't see it because it was in that time period when I was marveled out.
Yeah, it happened. Well, that one, and I think, yeah. I mean, I lasted longer than you, but I've got longer tenure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
that
true.
one I liked it. That was after Multiverse of Madness, which had a lot of really good stuff in it. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that, well, personally I didn't like, but other stuff I would have just cut out because it was not. You need to do so much. All that fan wankery, and wankery is a word.
Wankery. Nice.
It's like dumbassery.
Anyway, back to the explanation topic.
What was that?
So, in stories, centaurs represent the constant struggle of mankind, the ever fluctuation between conscious civilization and primitive impulse.
No, we're back to Jekyll and Hyde again, aren't we?
We are back to
so
Jekyll
back.
and Hyde. See?
Is that the one we recorded too? Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
How you
pressed the
forget?
I pressed the record button.
I don't think that's when we had to re-record.
We only did. Well, we lost a great one, but it's going to be even greater when we do talk about it.
I'm not looking forward to it. Right, any last...
If I could get a yellow cape right now, I'd be almost in costume.
Almost.
Oh, I need a white shirt. Pardon me. And actually,
Yeah,
I
you're
don't-
not quite almost in costume.
Yeah, the rest of the costume is right over there. Oh yes, yes it is.
By all the gods. Help me get through that episode.
All the ghosts.
All right, any last words on centaurs?
The centaurs. That was fun. I mean, it's not a long subject, but it's pretty much local to Greece.
Yeah, it is.
No matter where Harryhausen puts it, mutated cyclopean centaur. in Lemuria. It's pretty much local to Greece, so there's not too much. They're fun. They're mysterious enough that you can make them good or bad, depending
Right.
on the story. And I like them. I mean,
They're a fun creature.
yeah. So we will wrap it up. We'll take it.
Yes.
And all right, my fellow agents, our lovely Hellions full of hellfire. I am X7 and I am signing off along with my wonderful co-host of GD Splanations,
Lilith Draco.
probably over there again.
Yep.
Until our next assignment or our conjuring.
Bye. Live long and prosper.
I got beer.
I got bottled breast milk.
Why don't we start with the beer?
Okay.
So you like the beer?
I do. I do. Although it's actually a lager.
Huh. What's the difference between beer and lager?
I don't know. We could look it up.